So what exactly are these so-called kamikaze drones that Russia is now using on critical infrastructure in the war in Ukraine? Well, to find out more, let's cross to Washington and speak to the US military analyst, Doug Brooks. Good to see you, Doug. Thank you so much for joining us. What are we to read into these so-called kamikaze Iranian drones being used by the Russians now? Do they have lots of them? Is it an effective military strategy for the Russians?
Well, it is. The Russians have done a lousy job in developing their own drone strategies and capabilities. And so their drones, some of them date back to the 70s. They're crappy, and they haven't had much success. So they've gone to the Iranians. The Iranians have lots of drones. They've been developing them for a long time. They're very capable. The kamikaze ones in particular, they're cheap. I think your correspondent talked about that already. I think Russia's been buying them in scores. And so when they do an attack, they have a whole bunch of these drones coming in, and it overwhelms the Ukrainian defenses. So even though many are being shot down by expensive anti-missile systems, a lot are getting through. So yes, it is a considerable threat to Ukraine, and we've seen Zelensky and others in the Ukrainian government reaching out to the West to get better and more anti-aircraft capabilities. So, the Iranians deny it, the Russians deny it, but it's clear that the Iranians are supplying these things and the Russians are buying them by the dozens. The Russians also, I think, you might want to pay attention because the Iranians are providing them now with ballistic missiles. These things may be more accurate. They can carry larger warheads, and they're almost impossible to stop.
And but Ukraine has also been using drones, haven't they? I mean, they're using Turkish-made drones. I mean, what's the difference between those and the Iranian kamikaze drones?
Yeah, so the Bayraktars, the ones that they've been using from Turkey, are more akin to regular aircraft. I mean, they're drones, but they carry weapons. They drop the weapons on targets, and then they return to base, ideally. So the Ukrainians have made really, really good use of these kinds of drones, but they are vulnerable to anti-aircraft fire, to man-pads, man-portable missile systems.
آنچه در مورد ما میگویند